Welcome back to another episode of Out of Bounds on the Boom Bust podcast, a podcast where I give my social commentary on different topics in today's society. I'm your host, Terry, and I have a guest here, AJ, one of the homies from way back in the day. Going to be bringing her on a little bit, hopefully in the future, to continue talking about some of these topics in dating and all the fun things that go along with that. So we got three interesting topics today, and I wanted to make sure I had somebody else with a different perspective. So I'm definitely coming at it with the single out to mingle out in the world perspective, and AJ got the committed perspective. But she know a thing or two. She know people that's out here in these streets. So what up, AJ? How you doing?
What's up? Doing pretty good, just chilling.
Out here in the quarantine.
Yeah, I'm ready to break out at this point, but what can we do?
Hey, we just got to bring the news to the people. I mean, we know people that be on the dating books, the dating websites, the dating gurus.
Apps, everything else.
Everybody want the information. So I think between us two, we can help break it down. So I don't want to waste no time. Let's jump into the first subject here. And this is a tale as old as time, as they say. And it is pretty old. Should man have to pay for dates?
Oh, Lord.
Now, we know that this is up front because me and AJ, we woke out here. We will say it is upfront rooted in traditional thought of men and women, but there's still people that believe and live by it, and that's their right to. But we have to acknowledge it's something that comes from the old school. So, go ahead, AJ. What's your first thoughts?
Initial thoughts are basically, to me personally, it doesn't matter who pays for the date. I think traditionally the reason why men have paid for the dates is because it's usually the person who solicited the date, the inviter of the date, usually is the one who pays. And in a lot of cases, that's the man who's pursuing. But I mean, we see in modern times where now you see women who are a little bit more modern and upfront, and they will ask men out on a date and they're willing to pay. I think that tide is changing a little bit, and I say that a little bit. But honestly, there are still a lot of men and women who are still in the traditional cat and and dog chase of the guy or pursuing the woman in that kind of the tradition. So, that's, for me personally, I don't mind paying for a date, but I'm a pretty modern person. I understand people who are a little bit more traditional.
And so in that tradition, or at least, I mean, I wasn't there when they created it, but I would believe it was a way to show how much interest you have. And so, like, the whole courting process of, I'm pursuing you, and so this is part of showing.
We can go back a little further than that, because really it started centuries ago with just showing that you could be a provider. A lot of our olden days of being women, men were the providers, sole owners of land and everything else in between. So a man had to prove that he could provide in order to swoon a woman. So, I mean, the tradition comes from just showing that I can play the part of, the man and the family dynamic that we're trying to potentially create. It's got a longer history.
Yeah, that was my next point, is also that part. I mean, you're talking about bringing a goat or a pig or something to the father to take the daughter's hand in marriage, so
dowries and such. Yeah.
So understanding that's where it comes from, we fast forward to today. What do you think is just pure tradition, or do you think the people that are still holding on to that have like a reasonable reason to want things to go that way?
I don't think that it's pure tradition at all, but let's just be honest here. I think women enjoy the idea of being pursued and taken care of, even if it's not in a traditional sense. Like, I don't know any person who's not up for a free dinner, or free date or something like that. No matter, just as much as men and women might show up to a meeting at the, at work because there's food available, I don't think it's really a single thing to one gender or sex. It's just more of just like any person loves to be pursued in that way. And then with that tradition favoring on our side as women, or whomever is being pursued, it's like, I ain't gonna tell you no. If you want to pay for it, yeah, sure. I can get with that. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's about tradition anymore. I just think it's about just honestly enjoying being taken care of. Hell, you got the bill? Absolutely. Do that. Yeah, do that.
Right. Talking about you paying? Oh, well, in that case, let me get more.
Right, because I mean, shrimp. Even if it's, even if I'm with my girlfriends or my homies or whoever I'm kicking it with, and they like, no, I got you. All right, yeah, hell yeah, you got me. Sure. I'm not going to turn it down. But I don't think it's just exclusive to dating. I think anybody's, likes it's just, a sense of someone cares enough for you that they're willing to do that for you. I don't think it's traditional anymore, though.
Now, I'm going to tell you my early interactions with this, and looking back at it as an adult now, I think I cling to something you said at first, was this idea of I invited you, and so I want to make sure that I'm being as accommodating as possible. And so I'm going to make sure there's options of where we go. So in case you don't like something, if I can afford to pay, I'm going to pay. And, I'm going to do those things. And I think that's more where my mindset comes from. Like, if you say, hey, come over to my house for dinner, you don't expect me to come over and cook the dinner. So, like, I'm just like, okay, in my mind, in the situations, and I'll put this out here, I don't date like that, on like date night stuff. But when I was young, that's at least how I came at it. So I relate to what you said there. But there's some people, I have to throw this out there from the male perspective. There's some women where it's like, okay, here's options and blah, blah, we can do this, we do that. And they're like, you're not assertive. You don't have it on, like, just tell me what to do and I'll follow you.
Well, that's just kind of going off of somebody's personal preference. And also, I understand the men that kind of are against or wanting to break this tradition, because there are, grimy people who just want to go out for, free food knowing that they don't like the person. But to that, I'm going to say, you got to be a better judgment of character. So like if you end up with a guy or a girl or whomever who just there for the free food, I mean, that's your judging character. That's I'm sorry. I don't mean to put it on them, but that's kind of on you. Like, the person looked enticing and you weren't able to figure that out by the conversations you guys had before y'all went on said date. But again, like I said, that's people be rushing and stuff like that. They miss all them steps of trying to figure that person out first before taking them on dates, and then get mad because, they didn't got because, whoever then came and ate up all their food and paid up, ran up a bill, and then don't even hit you back afterwards. So, I mean, I feel people's pain, but I mean, that's on you. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. You gotta have a better judge of character. Don't let these AJ, women and men out here swindle you out of your courtesy dinner. Don't let them do it.
AJ says she's not a girlfriend. She a dinner guest. Like, she's a strict dinner guest.
No, but I mean, there are some people who do that. But I'm just saying there should be some stuff established before y'all go on the date, so you're not running into these type of, potential suitors. Like, y'all should have been having some conversations or something before to make sure that y'all were even compatible enough to be going on a date, so that the date actually serves the purpose of being the date of getting to know somebody. if you like, oh, damn, you look good, let me take you out, and you don't know nothing about her, and then, she scheme you or he scheme you out a courtesy meal, that's on you. Like, you should have did some more research before you did all that taking out. That's all I'm saying.
I honestly just heard this like last few months ago, especially with IG models, quote unquote. But a lot of these people out here starting to hear about these dinner dates, like people that's just talking to dudes or whatever the case may be to get a dinner. But that's the same way I feel about the what are the people, I forgot what y'all call them, that be sleeping around just to have a place to stay. But that'll be a conversation for another day. But I think it's in the same realm of that.
Everybody's got risk is what I'm saying.
I ain't gonna lie to you, my internet just blanked out, but
it really did. I don't know what back you caught, but hey.
It still say it was recording, so I'll find out in post-production. But all right, we back. Yeah, I believe you gave the people the truth, though.
I mean, I'm just saying, if we go compare them to sticks, all right, brother man, you losing out on a few dollars because you took Shorty out and she played you. But if I let you move in my house and you run up all my lights and everything else and you don't contribute.
Yeah, the potential loss is greater. I give you that, but hey.
And again, like I said, that's on the assessing end. Sis should have done better. Like they should have done better. They should have figured out what type of person they were dealing with before they got involved like that. Y'all got to do more research.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one, and this is an interesting one to me. So this is something I think that has been around for a while, but in the last 5 years or so, maybe more, it's kind of have its own name and whatnot, and that's the work husband and the work wife. Where you at work and it's just that one person, I guess, that you vibe with, that you always work together with, or whatever it may be. Not necessarily a person that people bring home, or you friends with the spouse. You kind of just, hey, at work, it's me and you. And so right. I've heard that term, the work wife, work husband, but some people don't play that. So, some people say there's only one husband and wife in this household, and that's gonna be me.
I mean, coming from somebody who's been married for 10 years, I'm not big on titles and role. What do you call it? Assigned roles and all of this stuff like that. So some using the word, I'm not going to call, when I'm specifically talking about my husband, obviously I'm going to refer to only my husband. But to say like a work husband or work wife, like that stuff doesn't bother me. I'm not that crazy or jealous to really care about something like that. Because that person is just somebody that your spouse is comfortable with at work. It could be a male or a female. Like I in my career, I've had what I've called work wives, best gal pals or whoever this at work and whatnot. I've had work husbands because I grew up as a tomboy. Sometimes I'm more comfortable with the fellas. So I mean, like I'm not one of those people who's gonna bitch and moan about nothing like that. Like, who your spouse is, and nobody's trying to take your spouse's place. This is the person that you talk to when you're at work. All you're doing while you're at work is working. Now, if your spouse is a little suspicious and look like they might be, on the brow of cheating, okay, that might be a little bit different. But like, again, that's on the assessing end of what you were supposed to be doing, learning about this person before you got invested in these relationships. So I'm always come back to that point, because you are only going through what you allow yourself to go through. And if that person ain't, vibing with you and you don't like what the hell they taking you through, leave. You know, I'm not about to be sitting here worried about being jealous about somebody calling somebody they work husband or work wife. I don't care. They spend my spouse spends a lot of time with those people, 40 hours a week. Hell yeah, right. He's gonna make some friends. Like, I don't care, you know, but hey, that's just me.
I agree with you. I think it's rooted in jealousy and all that stuff. And so it comes down to the trust factor and, you know, understanding that you can't think of everybody as a threat. You can't be a bubble around your spouse or partner or whoever. But the question, though, is what's inappropriate? Because I think that's where some people are like, you know what, I'm fully confident in our love, but as a what do they call it? Relationship as an institution, there's some things you don't do. So like,
yeah,
if you find out your husband loans a girl some money and you didn't know about it, like, you know, something like that.
That's a bit different. Well, it depends on what it is. If it's petty cash, I don't care. If it's, I mean, in my household, if we borrow our friends' money all the time, so that doesn't bother us. Obviously, it's not going to be like, no, $500 is going to come up missing and you're like, yeah, let somebody borrow $500 and then tell you. Again, like I said, for me personally, if these are the people that you know that's going to have your back at work, whether they be whoever they are, like I don't care. Like, I expect you to create those relationships with people. Just as much as if I'm at work and I'm going to go to a gas station real quick. Hey, y'all, anybody need anything? I get it, and they don't pay me at that same moment. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as borrowing. If somebody just personally asks me, can you get me X, Y, and Z? So I don't get offended by things like that. I just think all major things should be shared, but those are small, minuscule things that all coworkers should. I feel like we so used to tainted workspaces of divide that people don't even understand what work camaraderie is anymore. They like, we supposed to all be here, robotic, hey, how you doing, and that's it, and act like we're not sitting in the same space with each other for 8 hours out of the day. Like, no, I'm sorry.
I mean, in the modern American system, you spend more time with those coworkers than you do with your spouse most careers. So I'm expecting you gonna have some inside jokes. I'm expecting you gonna have, you guys are gonna borrow money from each other or eat lunch together. I'm expecting all of those things because you spend a lot of time to establish those relationships with each other. I mean, like I said, that if you have if you're not worried about your spouse being an actual cheater, you should have no problem with your spouse having work wives and work husbands on quotation, because you already know that they're not doing anything that will make your relationship invalid or, what's the word I'm looking for? That would jeopardize your status in your personal relationship. Like, I wouldn't be worried about that. Here's my concern. if this was to happen to me, is that typically a work wife, work husband, typically, or at least as far as I know it, as I mentioned, they aren't part of the friendship circle. So it's not like, hey, these are my friends from work. They hang out, play game night, so they know my husband and they part of the group, and you know, her friends are my friends. Typically, these are like somebody that you really only interact at work. That would bother me. If y'all so cool, then why? I mean, we don't have to hang out every day or every weekend, but it would take some time out to come meet your boy. Come shake my hand. Come say what's up.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree on that. I definitely agree on that.
I think it feels more like a college friend or ex boyfriend if you have it where I never meet you, because then, you know, that feels one type of different way where you show up and I'm like, oh, but I don't really know you like that. I ain't had a chance to assess, as AJ says.
Well, I don't know how most people do it, but I know, like my husband and I, and a lot of the companies that we've worked for, There's always, different events the companies will put on. And I make do that we go to those events so that, we as spouses can put, faces to the names, because we come home, we tell our stories about what happened at work and stuff like that. So, I mean, personally, in our relationship, we know everyone at each other's jobs. So we're able to go to these events and, meet each other and put, faces to names. So I know who that person, I know who my husband's talking about. He knows who I'm talking about. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I've had a situation where my husband didn't know my coworkers. And it's not even that either of us ever inquired to know. Like, we were like, I want to meet your coworkers. It wasn't nothing like that. We just, this is, I don't know. I guess we communicate a lot. So I can't understand how your spouse doesn't know your coworkers, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think to me, I wouldn't think about it. Like, if I just heard the name here and there, I wouldn't think about it. But when you finally did meet them, and then it's inside jokes and it's he and key, I'm be like, who is this? Wait, who is it? This Keith? This the Keith you've been talking about? No, what y'all laughing at?
That's jealousy, though, because why are you worried about what her and whoever Keith and them laughing about? Like, why do you care?
You laughing?
I don't know. That's just me. You laugh outside of my presence. Why? I mean, like, that's a sense of control that I don't think people don't understand. That's unhealthy. If you got to go through all that in your relationship where I can only laugh in your presence or be happy in your presence, or if I'm happy outside of your presence, I got to announce it to you that these people made me laugh or I'm happy. Like, come on. No. That's a sense of control and jealousy. No. If you do feel that way, you got some growing up to do and you need to self-assess. That's not okay.
Amen. I know with a girlfriend, definitely not. I don't think I would honestly be like that. I ain't been married, so I can't say, but I don't think I would. And like you said, that is just a matter of, you just got to grow up. I mean, you can't keep no log of, all right, who you talk to today, what they say to you.
Like, I'm not about to do that. Other people, I expect my spouse to have other relationships outside of ours. And if you expect somebody, do you want to be somebody's end all be all? If you really think that you're that good, that you can be somebody's end all be all, like, stop. Just stop. Like, it's unrealistic and it's not healthy and it's ridiculous. Like, I can't condone that. I'm sorry. I expect my husband to be friends with his coworkers. I'm expecting him to have friends outside of my friends. We have groups of friends that we share, but there are things that my spouse is interested in that I'm not, and vice versa. I'm not going to drag him somewhere that he doesn't want to be. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just about communicating. Like, even when I'm in those spaces that he might not be in, I let him know who I'm with, or who I'm I'm a performer, who I'm performing with, or who's part of the group. He might not never meet these people because he doesn't like these things, but there's no secret behind it. You know what I mean? I'm not like sneaking out and going to go dance with this group and they don't even know what the name of the group is. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a communication thing.
Okay, but the question is it different if you dating? Is it different if you courting? I'm going to say this, and this has been my philosophy since I was a kid. If you are not legally bound to somebody through the institutions of marriage or partnership on a piece of paper or some type of ordinance where y'all both have agreed that this is how y'all are going to be bonded together, I don't owe you shit. Dating means figuring out, testing the waters about finding a spouse. Exclusivity does not belong in dating. I'm sorry. Now, if you are establishing that relationship with one person and you guys are both on that mode of, we think we might be the person for each other, and you choose to be exclusive, that's fine. But if you're in the general dating cycle of regular dating, the nerve of you to get mad if somebody else is dating somebody else other than you. That's what dating is. Like, are you insane? I only want you dating me and I don't even know if you right for me yet. Like,
No. I'm sorry. No.
I would say this. I think timing matters. Like I said, if it's my girlfriend, like we down with each other, and I meet her work husband or whatever, I ain't gonna trip. Like you said, it ain't committed yet. But if we in a process of seeing if we gonna date, and you got work husband number 1 and 2, and y'all kikiing, and he's single, I don't know, man. I might have to be.
They're gonna make you a little hostile.
I'm not gonna be hostile. I'm gonna just have, like you said, come to communication, because some people will just let it fester, and they keep, like you said, it get hostile with the person. Me, I'm gonna go to the girl and be like, what's the deal with that? Like, what's the potential with that? Before I put my commitment into
right, because at that point you don't know if they're one of the people she or he is pursuing outside of you, if y'all are just general dating, which is understandable.
Yeah, I think that's what that comes down to. I will say the title overall is just weird to me. Work wife and work husband, especially as somebody that's never had one, but on the outside looking in, I'm like, work wife? What y'all?
It's just
what y'all know.
But so obviously the term does come from infidels. It does. It comes from the big boss and secretary era. You know what I mean? Work husband is very, very new. That's more in your 80s and 90s where that term comes in. But work wife does come from kind of like the 50-ish, 40s era where, you got the wife and kids at home. You got the sweet piece of ass that, runs your papers up front. I'm for real. I'm just saying. That's
you mean a literal work wife.
Yes, I'm for real. But that's where the term comes from, your other significant other at the workplace. So I can understand why some people are guarded with using the term, because it does have a disturbing, if we will, history of what it comes from, and people don't want to be associated with cheating and all of that. So, but I think in modern times, like, we all kind of understand that doesn't mean somebody that you're pursuing. It just means somebody you're comfortable with at work, who you can go in the office and complain to her when shit is hitting the fan or whatnot.
I agree with everything you said. I will say, at the back of my head, at the end of the day, for somebody to just, because people claim it ain't like a once in a while type thing. It's a pretty much, oh yeah, that's my work husband, oh that's my work wife. Like, people claim it, and if you go to that length,
there has to
be a subconscious.
Yeah, that don't feel right. I don't think I've ever been at work. I don't think I've ever been at home like, so my work husband. Like, no, you using the terms
not
outside
at home. I mean, in the office, like, they be like, oh, I gotta take this to Shelly. Shelly, that's my work wife. Oh yeah.
No, I don't like that. Mm-mm. It can be a term to describe somebody, but I'm not finna physically call nobody that. Like I said, I'm not gonna call anybody my husband other than my husband. I'm sorry. I can acknowledge that I have what we define as a work husband or work wife, but I'm not about to. No. Mm-mm.
See, I think it's something powerful there. Like you said, and all the things you said, it's friends, it's comfortable. I think that title mean a little something. Once people start ballying it about, like you said, you only call your husband. I think that's where some people get, maybe they're jealous, but maybe that's where they coming from. Like I said, it's what's the word? Defiling the sanctity of our marriage. You calling somebody else your husband in any form, or your wife in any form.
And like I said, that's our personal preference, because I'm on the a weird spectrum of that. Like I said, I'm not a big person about titles and having to let me say it this way. I like titles because I like to understand things. I'm a very logical person. However, I'm not really big on like role assignments that come with the titles and stuff like that. So I'm not like, you're the husband, you're supposed to do X, Y, Z, and I'm the wife and I'm supposed to do X. I'm not big on that, but I am, big on words and how they're used. So even though I can acknowledge what a work husband and work wife is, I personally just would not call someone else my husband. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. So basically, in your opinion, you can't roll up to the job and box up your husband's work wife just off the shrimp. You AJ saying that's
don't
not
go
okay.
up to your spouse's workplace beating up on people. Don't do that.
All right. So let's roll into this last one. Got one more for you. This is an interesting one. So your friend is a terrible partner or spouse. Like, you know, they cheating.
Oh, wow.
You know, they dogging out their partner, or, you know, they living foul. Is it your place to tell their partner? So your loyalty is to oh, go ahead. You already got the feelings.
It is nobody's part to dictate someone else's relationship. That is up to that couple. Because first off, their relationship ain't your business. Now, it is your part as the friend to acknowledge, because as a friend, you're supposed to acknowledge somebody's shortcomings and help them grow as a person and stuff like that. You should be cool enough with your friends to be able to say, hey, that ain't cool. Like, what you doing, that's foul. You know what I mean? But I don't ever think anyone has the space to try to dictate that relationship. I mean, it's because 10 times out of 10, for me personally, I feel it's an opinion. People know that they got shitty spouses. It's very few. I'm not even gonna say 10 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, people know that they got a shitty spouse. It's very few people who are actually out here gullibly getting cheated on, or, you know, with a bad spouse, or, you know, just doing, you know, foul things and stuff like that. It's very few people who don't know that their spouse is doing some irate shit. I'm sorry. And they're opting to stay in it. You see what I'm saying? So if you like it, I love it. I'm not going to tell you, because what do we normally see when someone does try to protect that person? There's a big blow up, they break up, 3 weeks down the line, somebody gets a text, baby, I miss you. They back together, and we like, what the hell? And then usually what happens is that friends fall apart because they didn't got themselves included. So she didn't kick you, or he didn't kick you to the curb as a friend. And then these fools get back together and all of their dirt and all of their mess. I ain't got time.
No, they chose the toxic relationship over the friend.
But is that not what we see most of the time?
That's
your man cheating, or bro, your girl cheating. Why you so worried about what my girl doing? How you know what you doing? How you talking to my spouse outside of what you doing talking to my wife? What you doing talking to my girl or talking to my dude? You know how this goes. Yeah. How you know all that? And then they gonna blame you, kick you to the curb. You know what I mean? People ain't stupid. They know when they got a crappy spouse. I'm sorry, they do.
I you know what? I gotta push back, AJ. I agree with what you're saying, but that's messed up. Especially if it's real foul, like they got another kid that somebody don't know about, or, you know, they out here riding dirty and giving the dirty over, and they, you know,
it's weird water to tread. Now, what happens if you're friends with both parties?
That was my next question.
That's when it gets tough. And that's where even me as a person, my stance gets a little watery, because I'm like, ooh, because I now have a duty to both people. Now, everybody is not as bullheaded as I am. When I have had this problem in the past, I put both people in the room and told them they need to get their shit together.
You bold.
Because y'all making us uncomfortable, you know, as a unit.
Y'all ruining
everybody as a unit, y'all fucking up the feng shui.
Y'all, you know, but game night.
Seriously. You know, but everyone's not going to be as bullheaded as that, or comfortable enough to do that. And even when I'm doing that with my friends, I'm not even telling them what aspect of their relationship they're falling short in. I don't even bring it up. I just let them know we see the struggle or strain, and y'all got some talking out to do. You know what I mean? I don't say if it's cheating or if it's reckless eyeballing or if it's just, being just a shitty spouse when it comes to cleaning or whatever it may be, paying bills. I don't say nothing. I just say, y'all stress and strain y'all going through, we as y'all friends can see it, and y'all need to talk that shit out and work that shit out. You know what I mean? I don't say what it is so that they can't be like, well, why people know our business? It kind of just comes to them as, oh, our friends can kind of see what we're trying to hide. Maybe we're not hiding it that well. We should probably discuss, what we're going through. So, I mean, that's my way of being invasive without being invasive, I guess. But I don't know. It's tough.
I think for me, honestly, it would go back to kind of how the other person is. Like, if I know that's a gullible type person, or if I know, they not with it. Because I don't know if it's 9 times out of 10 they know, like, oh, they just doing dirt. I think there's some things, especially depending on what it is, like if your friend if my boy tell his girl, hey, I work shift manager up at McDonald's and he trapping out the bando, like, I don't know, man. I might.
And it also sometimes it depends on the relationship you have with that friend. I know which one of my friends that if I did see their spouse cheating and they expect me to tell them, you see what I'm saying? So that's also something that's established on the friendship level too, because I know which one of my friends I'm supposed to tell and which ones I ain't. If you one of the ones that don't want to know, I will honor that. If you one of the ones that do want to know, I will honor that. And I'll make sure I'm not coming unless I have proof of whatever it is I'm talking about. If it's just a speculation, I ain't gonna say nothing. But if I got a picture of Tyrone at the club with some girl on his lap, sis, you gonna get that. And I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry, sis, your man is cheating.
I would feel bad. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've really been in that. I've never had anybody outside of maybe you and a couple people where I'm around their partners enough to even be a factor. But if I was, I would feel bad having to see them.
I feel like you would start some shit. I feel like you'd be bro, I can't hold it in, AJ. Shamala's out here. Shamala's out here wilding out, bro. And I'm be like, oh Lord.
If we had, if I was in a situation where we, on our grown and sexy, wine and cheese and charades every Friday or karaoke everywhere, and I'm seeing them constantly, and I'm just like, oh my God, girl, you don't even even know. Don't drink on that glass. You don't know what his mouth is.
Oh, that's just wrong.
I would end up feeling bad. I'd be like, bro, like I think, because I've heard some people say this. Some people was like, I can't be friends with a person like that. And I would give them an ultimatum, like, you need to tell them or we not going to be cool. I might be that type of person. I don't know.
Right. Well, yeah. And that's usually what happens. Like you said, they address the person that's, committing the wrongdoing, and you let them know, like, hey, if you don't say something, I'm going to say something type thing, or if I got to move around. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's something that you kind of establish with your friends, and just knowing what they expect of you as a friend. Most of my girlfriends, guy friends too, like if they expect me to tell them. So if I do, I ain't gonna feel comfortable doing it. But if that's what you expect of me as your friend, I'm gonna let you know if I do know anything. But it's gonna be uncomfortable as hell, I mean, it's just uncomfortable. Like worrying about somebody else's relationship and like,
yeah,
I don't know, like that is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think if it was my friend and I knew their spouse was doing something or their partner, I had no problem. But when my friend is the one doing dirt, I just kind of fade. It's hard, but I'm just like, yeah, that's not really my
I
place.
don't say I be on my friends' ass. I let my friends know that they ain't shit. All my friends.
I vouch.
Y'all know. I'll let you know if you ain't shit. I'm gonna let you know. If you do wrong, I'm gonna let you know. I got a couple of, I ain't gonna ever say no names, but I got plenty of friends that are married, and I have friends that are dating, and I have friends that are, in long-term relationships and stuff like that. And they have done some foul stuff. All my friends know, do not call me because I'm not going to side with you. Because when you telling me all that your partner done, I'm gonna be like, so what did you do? And they know nobody ever want to snitch on themselves. Because in all arguments and all of these different things, there's always two sides of the story. I'm a whole book type person. And if you're not willing to admit what you done, and a lot of times they didn't provoked and threw stuff and this and that, and then you get mad that somebody's yelling at you. How? You throwing stuff at people. You're wrong. You know what I mean? So I ain't the friend for that. If my friends ain't shit, they gonna know they ain't shit. I'm gonna let them know. And if they continue to do those types of, and then with my friends, if I see you repetitively doing those types of like bogus things, I'm not even gonna personally like you as a person anymore. Like if that's who you are, I can't even be around you no more. I'm gonna have to disregard you and let you go to the wayside because that's just not cool. Like that's a characteristic thing, and if that's your character, I don't want to be associated with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you, AJ, taking the time. We tackled some tough things today.
Thank you. Letting me babble on the mic.
But everybody, let me know what you think about that. Go to the comments section. Tell us what you think about, should the man have to pay? What kind of goes into that? The work wife, work husband, and your friend. When do you tell your friend that they ain't crap, as we like to say? But share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for going out of bounds.